Hello and welcome to the visualization. India has a population of 1.42 billion people or more. It might have been an old statistic. China has 1.41 billion people, equaling basically 3 billion people out of 8 billion people. Ever since 9/11 2001, Whamerica has devoted itself to national security falsely. So they say it was false devotion because we went to war for 20 years for 3,000 New Yorkers just to allow 500,000 plus homeless Americans to suffer. Pearl Harbor, 2,600 people died. 60 years later, 9/11 happened. 3,000 people died. Not much of a difference between Japan and Al Qaeda, but we forgave Japan, allowed them to join NATO, became allies with them, but didn't do the same for Al Qaeda. Favoritism, discrimination, sure, okay. Back to the back to the back to the point. How are we supposed to know whether or not China, let's say, invested in or contributed to the planning and the attacks of the trade centers? How do we know when when we have about 400 million Americans and there are almost 1.5 billion Chinese people? How are we in the future? Never mind 9/11 retrospect. In the future, how are we supposed to, we don't have enough people to investigate that many people, even if we tried and play and did double shifts. So for this country to sit here and be extremely deceptive, extremely misleading, and really just let its own people just deteriorate right in front of its face and just sit here and basically use family trees as lumber to build up their reputations through their governments, their politics, and their corporations. We all need to become YouTubers and gamers, and that's a revolution. Never mind all this gang banging and domestic terrorism in the hood and pretending to be a revolutionary cause. No, really, become a gamer and a YouTuber and tell the American government that you believe in world peace and self-sufficiency. You would like to work safely for self from home and not be a victim of a mass shooting or a World Trade Center attack, suicide bombing. Again, I want somebody to answer my question. I'm going to have to send this to the White House. Why are you falsely promising national security when you don't have enough people to investigate China and India? Let's combine China and India's populations. That's 3 billion people. We have 300 million, maybe 400 million. We can't investigate 3 billion people. We can't protect 400 million people from from 3 billion people, or if it's just China that is a potential threat. We can't necessarily, we might be able to fight, but as far as investigations go, this country will never be able to keep up with the population of China and how many people they have transmitting data without invading privacy. Keep targeting me and allowing others to target me. Watch what happens. Just a little side note. Happy New